So you have a sister driving the car, and then you're in the back seat with hopefully a buddy, maybe two, and you're driving. Then it gets to a point where they say, take your blindfold off. You're looking around. They're dropping your ass off. Get out of the car. Hi guys, it's me, Casey. Yo girl. Okay, so today is gonna be the long awaited part 2 to my pledging story time. Oh boy, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty in this one. First things first, I want to do an update on my giveaway. I had 3 lucky winners. One person has not gotten back to me, and I did reach out to them through Instagram DMs. So if you did do the giveaway, check your Instagram DMs. Maybe you have like requests because we don't follow each other. Follow me. And that's why you didn't get it. But I'm going to give till tomorrow. And if not, I'm going to pick someone else. And I did come up with what I'm doing for December's giveaway. Actually, I wanted to do a full face of drugstore makeup. Like a makeup bag, and inside of it, a full face of drugstore makeup. But I'm thinking instead, I've decided I'm going to do Vlogmas. I'm going to do Vlogmas. I wanted to try my hand at vlogging. I'm going to include regular videos in there as part of a Vlogmas video. But I'm going to Vlogmas this year. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm going to Vlogmas. I'm going to do it. Some days might be less exciting than others, but we're Vlogmasing this year. I'm going to make like an intro for Vlogmas videos. And so I was thinking, instead of just one person getting that one big kit, I was thinking, how about instead, and I'm going to take your guys' thoughts into consideration here, how about instead, every day of Vlogmas, we give away a drugstore product that would complete a full face of makeup. So day 1, we're doing it in the steps of the makeup routine. So day 1, we're giving away a moisturizer. Day 2, we're giving away a primer. Day 3, we're giving away a foundation. You know what I'm saying? So it's one person per day, and that gives so many chances for people to win instead of one chance. So we do it daily. I don't know, I still have like a week or so to come up with that. So if you have any input, put it in the box down below. Second thing, oh my gosh, we're almost to 200 subscribers. It doesn't feel like I'm shouting into a void anymore. I feel like I'm actually talking to people, because some of you I have talked to on Instagram, I have talked to in the comments section below, and I love getting to know you. Slide into my Instagram DMs. I will respond to you. I will follow you back. And yeah, I just love it. It's really cool to have like my close-knit group of subscribers, because even if I grow bigger or don't, if I don't, it'll just be us, like a, you know, like a little clip. And if I do, you guys are always going to be my OGs. I have OGs. You guys are my OGs. And I love you. Let me know below if we should do like 25 giveaways of Vlogmas or something, or just like one big one at the end. I like see the pros and cons of both, so I want some opinions. Let me know. Let me know down below. And let's get started with this video. I got my notes here because we're coming prepared. We'll start where we left off. So where we left off was right after midnight. Remember when I woke up? Holy hell, like, holy hell, what just happened to me? Let's relive those glory days. Let's do it. Because my life's boring now. It really is. Day 1. You know, we're scheduled. We are given a schedule. This is what your lives are going to look like until you get in. They don't tell you when you're getting in. Okay, could be 3 days, could be 3 weeks, could be 3 months. You don't know. It's like when you go on a reality show and like you don't know how much time has passed or when the ending is. There's no end in sight. You're just hoping and praying for the best. So for as long as till they tell us stop, you're a sister.
Hi sisters. Hi sisters. Hi sisters.
Until then, you're just doing the sketch, which is, you know, you have your day, you go to your classes, and then you have a couple hours of that day for study hall, which I did not utilize. And then after that, it's up to them. At the end of study hall, you will get a call and they will say,
report to the house, go to the store and get a crazy list of things.
And then come to the house, they'll give you your assignment for the night. Okay, so that's it. That's your life. There's nothing else. You're doing nothing else. That's what you're doing. Now we're going to talk about the things that we did. The things that we did. You get a call, okay? You get a call. Come to the house. A lot of the nights, that was the call. Come to the house. There was 9 of us. I was the only one with a car. I was the only one with a car. Toot, toot, beep, beep. Clown car, hop in. We're going riding. I mean, if we didn't have enough room for everyone, people were walking. People were walking. And guess what? We had to match. Every night that we went to pledging, we had to wear a blue shirt that had our pledge class on it, which I'm not going to disclose here. I didn't sign no NDA. I didn't sign an NDA. This was 10 years ago, people. We're over 10 years. We've passed the 10-year mark. Every night we had to wear our blue shirts, blue bandana, and we had a pledge folder. That was what you had to have every single night with you when you went to that, when you reported to that house. And like I said, we got a part 3 coming. That's going to be the receipts, baby. I got all that stuff still. The shirt, the folder, all the other things that added on as we went. It got to a point where we had to wear a spoon around our neck. So it was a piece of yarn with a plastic spoon hanging. And that was because when they would ask us questions, they always said we didn't know the answer. They'd say, why do you know the answer? And we'd have to go, because we're spoon fed. So you get what I'm saying? As we moved on in the program, different things were implemented that we had to have on our person every single night we were pledging. That's it. If you didn't have it, you're going to get it. You're hauling ass back, and then you're hauling ass back. And I'll tell you right now, from campus to where we pledged was a good mile. Okay, now we're going to talk about some of the things we had to do. And this is in no order, okay? I'm going to try my best, like, how it started to how it ended, like the escalation of the... Is that even a word? I don't know, but I'm gonna try my best to recollect the chronological order for you. I will tell you right now, most nights involved a blindfold. That's why we had the bandana. You're taking that bandana and you're tying it around your face to do various activities.
Get in the basement.
That was the number one thing that was said. We'd get to the house, get in the basement. It was not a finished, furnished, nice-ass basement. It was a cement, dirty, dingy, creepy-ass basement. Get in the basement. When you get into the basement, you take your formation. Okay, ladies, now let's get in formation. And that is alphabetical order, okay? Alphabetical order. So by your last name, you're in formation, same one every night. For 6 weeks, 6 days, baby. It became like clockwork in your head. Formation, boop. Put your blindfolds on. You're Helen Keller and you know, that is not derogatory. I love Helen Keller. Side note, you know, when you're a child and you get to like write reports on whoever you want, from like my very first report till probably my very last report I've done in my educational career, I always chose Helen Keller because that girl is brilliant. She's brilliant. So that was a lot of what the nights looked like, and then various things would follow from there. But the blindfold was a thing. It was a thing we did a lot, okay? A lot. We had drop-off night. I'm just going to talk to you about the nights that we had, okay? And every night they say would teach you a lesson, bring you a little closer, teach you something about sorority, about sisterhood. Now, looking back, I'm like, sisterhood, I mean, I've got friends that I consider sisters. Not many, but I have a few. And I've got real sisters that are, you know, my sisters. And I know I didn't have to do this shit to prove to them that I was a sister, but hey, teach their own. I did it. It was my fault at the end of the day. I put myself through it. One night we had drop-offs, okay? Just like you would assume a drop-off is. You were blindfolded, lead you out of the house, you're into a car. You don't know where you're going, you don't know who's in the car with you. It's not all of us in one car, there was 9 of us. So, you know, they split us up into groups. You're blindfolded, your head's down to in between your knees, you're sitting, your head down, and you're just hoping. You're like, what's going on? Like, no, nobody knows. You can't ask, nobody knows. They're not going to tell you. So you have a sister driving the car, and then you're in the back seat with hopefully a buddy, maybe 2, and you're driving. Then it gets to a point where they say, take your blindfold off. You're looking around. They're dropping your ass off. Get out of the car. Now, mind you, they took your cell phones. When you walked into that house for pledging, your cell phones were no longer your own. They took them from you, okay? So you're dropped off in the middle of nowhere. You have no cell phone, and you only got your buddy. Then they look at you and they say,
find your sisters.
And by that they meant, find your pledge class. They didn't tell you where you're meeting. They didn't tell you where you're going, where the other girls are going. You got to figure that out for yourself. Lucky for me, I was aware of my surroundings. I knew where I was. Where I pledged is where I was from. And I was the only one from there. So I knew where I was. Even though it was the middle of nowhere, I grew up there. I've been all around this place. I knew exactly where we were. So my pledge, the girl that was with me got real lucky. She got real lucky. So I'm like ducking. I'm like, all right, I know where we are. Let's start walking. Let's start walking. I'm like, the wind's blowing that way. Let's go. Feet on the pavement, girl. Let's go. We're walking. This video's gonna be long, man, long. So we're walking. Down comes a car. And I'm like, shit, you know, it's them. It's the girl. It's the sisters. And they're like, they could tell we were moving way faster than everyone else because we knew where we were. So they picked our asses up. Blindfolds on, ladies. Heads down, blindfolds on. They dropped us even further. They knew what was going on. They knew I knew where I was going. I'm not playing that game. One thing about me as a pledge is I was a yes ma'am to the point where it would get me through things, but I didn't play by the rules most of the time. So I tell the girl I'm with, all right, let's get walking. But we're going to be walking off the beaten path. We're walking in the ditch. We're walking over here where they can't see our asses. Because we're not getting picked up and dropped back off again, girl. I don't come in last, I come in first. So we're walking through the ditch. And every time we saw headlights, get down, get down. And it was not good conditions. I mean, I pledged in the spring. So it was rainy, it was muddy. Get down. We're trench running. We're trenching through. We're trenching. We see the headlights go. Pop it up, girl, back on your feet. When I say jump, you say how high, and let's get to where we're going. We didn't know where we were going, though. That's the kicker. We keep walking. I'm laughing thinking about it, because looking back, like, it's so funny to think this was the life that I led. But I did. So we're walking, we're going, and we were thinking the whole time, like, you know, think about where we'd be going. And we realized we always went to Dunkin' Donuts to get coffees before the night, because we knew we had a long night ahead of us, and bitch, we needed to fuel up. So we've made our decision. We're going to the Dunkin' Donuts. I bet you that's where the girls are going to be. So needless to say, our duck and dive and trenching got us to Dunkin' Donuts, and the girls were there. All the girls looking fine, looking whatever, were no wear and tear on their bodies. We are covered in dirt from head to toe. Every crack, crevice, and crease, we are covered because we worked for that. So that was one night that we had. We had a lot of memorization. I told you guys in my last one, if you didn't see part 1 of this, what are you doing? You should have looked at that first. Founders, all the sisters, when they pledged, who their pledge sisters were, what year, what semester, spring or fall. You had to know. You had to know everything. When were we founded? Where were we founded? And we had songs, and we taught each other ways. Solidarity, man, that was a thing we were not strangers of. We stuck together. We helped each other out. There was a ton of memorization. One night we had this night called Stare Night. Oh, Stare Night. So we did our regular pledging, you know, in the basement, doing what the hell ever. I don't even know. You'd start on the bottom stair in the house. You went in groups. And they'd ask you a question. If you answered it right, you got to move up a stair. If you answered it wrong, you're going back down a stair. Every pledge sister had to get through all 9 stairs. Now, you know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Not everyone knew all the information. I got a good brain, though. I knew a lot of the stuff I needed to know, even though I was a slacker on the back end of things, and I'll tell you about that later. Anyways, you were not going to sleep until every single pledge sister got all 9 questions right in a row, and they got harder as you went up. We were there until, I'm going to pop off and say 6:30 in the morning, and that is not a dramatization. Some of us had class at 8 a.m. So yeah, you had study hall, but like realistically, your brain was not, it was not equipped for this sort of torture, dare I say. Another thing they loved to do, they burn a match, you know, like strike it up, and you'd watch it burn, and they'd tell you to list something. List the founders, list this pledge class, list it before it burns my fingers. If you care about me, you won't let it burn my fingers, and you're just going. You're trying your best. And if you don't burn that before then, they make you feel like shit. I will say, we never got hit. They never touched us. It was never anything like that. Yeah, they just make you feel bad. And here's the thing. I'm pretty solid up here when it comes to stuff like that. So, like, I didn't let it get to me much. But, you know, not everyone's built that way. I have, like, a tough exterior, I guess. I'm emotional as hell. But I also separate reality and things that matter from things that do not. Watching a movie, I know it's not reality, but what's going to matter if I cry about it? I knew if these girls saw me cry, they'd see it as a weakness, so I didn't let it happen. But some of the girls got really emotional when they would, you know, burn someone's finger. Another thing they really like to do is this fun game called Who Am I? So they would turn the lights off in the basement, and they would come in your ear and scream, "Who am I?" I'm not saying like, "Who am I?" No.
Who am I?
Probably have damage somewhere. You had to say who it was just by listening to their voice, cutting out all other senses, just their voice. That's how much they wanted you to know them. And that'll lead me to the night we got our big sisters. Big sister night was a night of like ridiculous nonsense. Just lots of dumb shit, you know, blindfolded, screaming at us, whatever. And then we played a game of Who Am I? And, you know, someone's screaming, who am I, in your face, and the lights come on. And they say, take your blindfold off. And you take your blindfold off. And in front of you is who your big sister is going to be. And they say, just want to let you know, during pledging, I'm here for you. And you're always going to have someone in your corner. I cried like a baby. Okay? I cried like a baby because that's really nice. Through all that shit, like, that was really nice. And your big sister, I love my big sister. I still keep in touch with my big sister. We keep up on Facebook. It's not like we hang out or anything. She's doing great. That was cool. You got a big basket with a bunch of stuff, and they send you letters cheering you on. From them on, you know, you got some camaraderie outside of your 8 girls. You got someone rooting for you when it feels like everyone else wants you to fall flat on your face, you know? Let's move on to another fun night. Let the good times roll. Onion and apple night. This was just great. So, for this night, we arrived at pledging, and they had us all sit in a room together. But we were not allowed to talk, and there was a sister watching us to make sure. One at a time, someone would come in, and we're all blindfolded, so we don't even really know what's going on, but you can kind of sense. When you blindfold all the time, your other senses heighten, okay? We were used to being blindfolded at this point. This was like a couple weeks in, and I'm like, you know, when my blindfold's on, I am like the spidey sense of, you know, every Spider-Man to ever play Spider-Man. I was ready to wreck. I knew what was going on around me, so you could feel the presence of someone leaving the room. So the sisters would come in and take one girl and bring her into who knows where. I didn't know. Sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, where are they going? What are we going to be doing? Who knows? It was my turn. They grab me. I'm walking upstairs, whatever. They say, take off your blindfold. I take my blindfold off. There's candles. There's an onion and an apple sitting in front of me. And they say, okay, whichever one, you need to take a bite of one of these. Whichever one you don't choose to take a bite of, the sister that comes up after you, your pledge sister that comes up after you, is going to have to take a bite of. So, you know, I'm like, okay, obviously I take the onion. Because it's supposed to teach us a lesson, you know, about like selflessness and our sisters meaning something to us. So I bet the damn onion. The nice thing was when they brought you back downstairs, you get a piece of chocolate, okay? A piece of chocolate. So that was good. Anyways, at the end of everyone going, they bring us downstairs and they say, sit down, blindfold, and don't, you know, just sit here. And they explained to us that one sister, one of our pledge sisters, one of the 9 of us, took a bite of the apple instead of the onion. And they say, until they tell you who it was, you're not leaving this basement. You're not doing anything except sitting here and being blindfolded. I don't know how much time passed. Felt like 3 hours. Probably was only an hour. And in the corner, I hear a voice. My spidey senses again, tingling. It was me. So one of my pledge sisters, that bitch, bit the apple. And she admitted it. And anyways, the night went on. But anyways, I just thought that was a fun story to tell. And just another like weird thing we went through. There was just like also like, speaking of weird things, like just a lot of weird nights where like I just didn't understand. Like one night they had us blindfold and then like lay on the floor in the basement, and I could see like dogs, you know, a girl had 2 Rottweilers, one of the sisters, and they like unleashed them. They were not doing anything weird, but what they did was like the sisters were like spraying water bottles on the floor like the dogs were peeing, and it's like, I know they're not peeing, but some of the girls were like actually scared. This is what I'm talking about, like where I was like a little bit of a shyster. Like I always knew like this is silly. No, they're not ever going to actually harm you or they'd be in big trouble. Like this stuff is child's play, you know, in the scheme of things. It's still not right, but it was child's play. Like saying we weren't allowed to drink during pledging. It's a dry pledging, so you are not allowed to drink. So sometimes we would have to accompany them to mixers and stuff and like serve their drinks, and we weren't allowed to talk to brothers of fraternities. It was not that. You're a pledge. You don't get to talk to anyone. You just serve the sisters and that is it. But your big sister would sneak you a little drink here or there, you know what I mean? So that was cool. But yeah, you weren't allowed to drink. So we lucked out because spring break happened like 4 weeks into pledging, and I was going to Myrtle Beach that spring break. So I posted this status on Facebook, you know, all big and bad with myself. Like, I'm going to be drinking this week in capital letters. So there, right? I thought it was so cool because I'm untouchable right now. I'm on spring break. I'm going crazy. I went to Senor Frogs doing some dancing. That was a great spring break. I got a lot of story times about that. If you guys like this story time, let me know. I can drop some more. When I got back, man, should I not have done that? Every single sister in the sorority made a status. Basically every single one. Well, the ones that really didn't like me, and I don't know. I haven't talked to them since, so I really don't care. Made statuses on Facebook. Blah, blah, blah. But it didn't matter what they were writing. They could have wrote, like, I'm going to the library today. But they all ended it in, so there, capital letters. They were big mad. So let's get into, like, a fun activity we got to do during pledging. And by fun, I mean an animalistic routine.
Well now, we call this the act of mating. But there are several other very important differences between human beings and animals that you should know about.
You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Let's talk about frat saying. In order to explain frat saying, I have to talk to you about a little bit about what the pledging structure looked like, the pyramid of pledging, if you will. So where are the pledges? Right down here, really like down, way down here, okay? Then you had like the regular sisters. Then you have your PC, Pledge Council. Those are the girls that pledge you. So the sisters would be there for some nights, but some nights it would just be your Pledge Council. And those were the girls that were like pledging you, like yelling in your face. You knew their voices when they yelled. Then you had your APM, who was an assistant pledge mom, but she was worked with these guys, this Pledge Council down here. She was not nice either. And we had our pledge mom. Love her. Still keep up with her too. And your pledge mom was like your big sister, you know. She was camaraderie. She was nice to you. Like, she'd make you feel good after a rough night of pledging. You could call your pledge mom and be like, oh my gosh, tonight was so hard. She'd check in on you all the time. She was an angel, and she still is. Love her so much. Just kidding. There's 4 local sororities and there's 4 local fraternities. On frat saying, it was all about the pledges having a good time. Animalistically. So what would happen is you'd get on this bus, a big yellow school bus, and you would be wearing your pledge outfit, and that was your night to drink, baby. You would have a gallon jug of whatever you wanted. Your choice. Your big sister would make it for you. You want soda and vodka, you want juice and vodka, you want a 12-pack beer to fill in there, you do what you want. You just bring as much alcohol as you want. You drink on that bus, you sing songs. We had to write a song to sing on that bus. I have my whole song booklet for part 3, and I'll tell you some of the songs that we had to sing, man. Oh my gosh. So what would happen is you go into a fraternity, you go one at a time. So you start at the first fraternity, and there's 4 you're going to throughout the night. It's the Ghost, Christmas Past, Future, Present, and so on and so forth, you know. So you go to the first fraternity. The first half of that time at that fraternity would be you standing across from the pledges of that fraternity, and you're just bantering. It's all about you arguing. There's no, you know, hitting, no touching, whatever. You're screaming though. You're yelling. You suck, da da. It's about whose pledges are better, you know. And you sing songs. I'm going to save the songs for my last video, but you would sing them songs that were like derogatory to them and really just want to get them. You throw beer at them. Like, there's a lot of beer thrown, and it was just like, that part I liked. It was kind of fun. I won't lie. It was kind of fun. And then after that, what would happen is the pledge mom, pledge dad, but they're called PMs too, from the fraternity would stand at the front of the line, and all the pledges would line up in a line, and you kiss the pledge dad. And I would. No, I would not. So you had some girls who, you know, the girls love to see it when you make out with the PM of the fraternity. I thought it was weird as hell. It's freaking gross, honestly. It's freaking disgusting. I'm so embarrassed to be saying this online. So you have some girls who would make out with the pledge dad, and some girls like me who would just shake their hand because it's like, no, I'm not interested. The whole night was just about making out. It was gross. After you go through the line, whatever, the sisters are cheering you on, kiss him, and you don't, then they boo, and it's like, I gotta boo everything. I can honestly say I did not kiss any of the 4 PMs that we had of the houses we visited that night. It's gross. But this is what it's really like, people. This is what it was really like. It's not like that anymore, I will tell you that. Maybe they just still do frat saying. I really don't know. But I have people that have pledged the same sorority as me in different states and colleges and different sororities nowadays. And the pledging experience is completely different. 10 years ago, there was a lot less standards than there is now. I'll say that. Some more to go on here and talk about Rush. I guarantee you it would not be anything like this. I got the old school stuff in my artillery people. And then for the last like hour that you were there, it was just a straight up party. Singing, dancing, we did a limbo. It was fun. It was fun. I liked that part of it. And then you'd get on your bus and you'd go to the next one and you do the same shit. Yeah, I could do way more stories about frat saying, so if you are interested. I could do a lot more stories about sororities and mixers and pledging, the whole nine. There's more than I'm putting in this video, so let me know if you enjoy this sort of stuff. Describe wild, disgusting, animalistic. The end. Our other really fun night of pledging was one weekend we got to do a PM steal, which is where you take your pledge mom and you get to pick a place and you plan a weekend for her just to celebrate her. We went to Montreal, baby, because the drinking age was 18 and most of us were 18. If you want a story time about that, oh my gosh, it's just a plug for a million story times, but we had a great weekend that weekend. We could drink. We got kicked out of a strip club that weekend. We snuck fraternity. Another fraternity was doing their PM steal in that same place down the street. We snuck them into our suite. Yeah. If you want to hear about PM steal, let me know. And now we're going to go out with the bang. Hell night. The night we got initiated into our sorority. We didn't know it at the time. It was treacherous, man. So we showed up at the house. They put our hair in 2 buns and dumped baby powder on our head. They put signs on us. We were all dressed as elephants. Elephants, okay? And we had a sign that said something inappropriate. Each of us had our own. I still have my sign. That will be in part 3. Stay tuned. They gave us a little show we had to put on. And we were paraded to every single fraternity, local and national, so 8 or 9 of them in one night. And we had to put on our show, and they gave them circus peanuts to throw at us. And yeah, we were elephants for the night. That could be a whole nother story time. Yeah, that was the start of our hell night. And then we were given a 1,000 piece, I would assume, one of those little puzzles where it's like this big per piece, with no picture of what it's supposed to be, and we were not allowed to move on to our next activity until we completed the puzzle on the basement floor. Then we were put in 2s and each given a phone book where we had to highlight all the letters of our sorority that we could find in the entire phone book. And then at about 6 a.m.
They also repeatedly played this song about elephants, which I will insert here. It is haunting.
Dancing with the elephants, I'm dancing with the elephants in Amsterdam. I'm dancing like an elephant in Amsterdam. I'm looking for my
They told us to go to a different location, and that is where, after 6 weeks and 6 days of stuff, just like all the aforementioned things in this video, we were initiated. We got our letters. We were sisters. Sister, sister. Yeah, I didn't take school seriously then. A lot of things happened from here. I didn't end up staying in the sorority past that point at all, because I was no longer in that school. That's a whole nother story time too. Learned a lot of lessons. Do I regret it? No. I had a lot of fun. I got a lot of good stories to tell. Something I could say I did. I'm not ashamed of it. And yeah, so the reason why I feel comfortable sitting and telling this story is because I was never on the other side of it. Like I said, that was it for me. I went to some mixers after that, participated in some frat sayings, but not as a pledge, so I didn't have to do all that weird animalistic stuff. Yeah, but I wasn't a sister anymore. I guess once a sister, always a sister, right? But anyways, yeah, I have a lot more I could go into depth on with this entire thing, but yeah, so I never was on the other side of that. And shortly after all this, the next pledge class in, I think, we got in some trouble. Well, I guess, because I was no longer a student there, got in some trouble, and things changed. I don't know how they are now. If you like this, let me know. If you find it interesting, I guess. No hard feelings here. I don't mind talking about it. It's actually funny for me to relive, which might sound like borderline psychotic, but it's in the past. And I learned from it. So it's cool with me. So if you like this, let me know. I can do more story times of stuff like this. And thanks for watching. Tomorrow I'm going to drop the first part of my makeup collection series, which is going to be my palette collection. So stay tuned for that. And I'm sure this was long, so if you kept me this long, leave a Elephant emoji below. See you guys.